again, YouTube. Today we are taking a look at a knockoff version of a very cool toy. This originally was the Brave of Goldran Advenger from the Brave series. Now, the original toy itself is somewhat rare, almost always expensive. It's something that a lot of collectors, you know, never get their hands on. I don't know that I'll ever own the original version of the mold. I'd love to, but when I saw this at a Tuesday morning for like $6, had to swoop up and grab it because at least it's a way to experience it. Now, obviously it's a steam locomotive, which right off the bat is a very cool, you know, alt mode for a transforming robot. One thing right off the bat to say is that the original has these missile launchers, which you can see under here, and then there's a big gun that's supposed to store. But on the original, these missiles fire. And since these are glued in, and I didn't want to break them off yet for the sake of the review, it sits slightly crooked. So that kind of sucks, but you know, once I pull those missiles out, it'll be corrected. Anyway, but just so you know. So this has one relevant accessory in this mode, which is this thing. Now this part right here is a gun, which can flip out. We'll just take it off though, because that little hole makes this a trailer. So it pops on there. And on the original, this was made, these clips, I can't remember the name of the toy that fits on here, but basically this was like a transport, transport unit. So it would have trailers and the other bots would snap onto them, and anyway, so it has like where wheels would be, but of course on this cheap knockoff they are not there. Just a piece of plastic intended to be a shield. So we'll set that aside. In terms of the overall finish and everything on here, he does have like nice gold shiny plastic. The stickers are okay. A lot of them are very badly applied and crooked. You can see there is some paint detail, but also things like these wheels are just completely unpainted. One gimmick that they retained from the original is that he has these ramps that can roll down, and for this knockoff, you know, it's about the right size. You can fit like a world's smallest transformer or something in there, and you can carry him around. Love that little guy. Anyway, and other than that, it's just, you know, it's very cool. To people that aren't familiar with this mold, I mean, you know, when you first see it, you might think Night Morpher Commander or something like that, but yeah, very cool. Love the coal bed detail. It's actually a lot of detail. It's very nice, very nice. This actually does really make me want to get the original. Considering how good this cheap knockoff is. I'd love to see the genuine article. Anyway, okay, so that's a look at train mode. And let's go ahead and switch him up to robot. Okay, so let's look at the transformation. Starting from train mode, the first step that we're going to do here is just flip up what'll be his feet. Very simple. The second step, oh, we gotta tuck that away. The second step is simple on paper, but very scary in this knockoff form, which is that this whole front section of the train we have to rotate, and it rotates right at this joint here. You can see where the molding is now. The line of the molding is broken. The problem is that this is extremely tight. Now, it's got some screws. I'm going to try loosening those, see if I can make it a little easier, but just as is, there's no good way to turn it because there's a very flimsy hinge right on top of it that if you try to turn from this top part, that's just going to snap. So you really have to turn just from this bottom section, and there's really no good way to get it. You have to just kind of get your finger in there and a nail and everything, and it really sucks. So I'm going to do that off camera, and then we'll come back and pick up the rest of the transformation. So here we go. Okay, so we just have one last terrifying twist to go, and we've got the top piece completely flipped around. At this point, we can fold out these arms like so, and they actually kind of slide up, and that gives us the clearance to flip the chest piece down like that. Like that. Flip out his little wrists, straighten out and then if you flip up this smokestack, there's his head. Other than that, around the waist, he's got some sort of skirt pieces that flip up and define his torso. And then the last very cool step is these panels here, where the coal beds are. Flip around and reveal robot detailing. And more or less, there we are. Okay, so now that we've got him fully transformed, we can take a look at his accessories and articulation. Right off the bat, he's got built-in missile launcher, which we saw before. And then I went ahead and reattached the big cannon. You can also flip open these little panels here, and he's got missiles. Now, similar to this on the original, this had a slider, which you can see there's a little bit of molding right here. It still resembles the switch, but basically you would switch it up and down, and that motion is what would fire these missiles. As it is, these are glued in place, so they don't come out, which is a shame, but what do you expect? He also has a chest gimmick that they have removed. On the real toy, you can wind this up, hit the red button, and it fires out like a super chest, launcher thing, which is very cool. Does not translate, unfortunately, to the knockoff. In terms of articulation, he's got this joint because of transformation. It also has a hinge here. Does not rotate forward and back, unfortunately. The elbow does turn, and it does have a bicep swivel. And then this arm, the hand rather, which is kind of floppy, will flop back and forth. And that's all the articulation you get. The legs don't move, the head doesn't move. A shame, but that's not really what they were going for with these Brave toys, was great articulation. It has enough to pose, and that's about it. One thing that does suffer on this knockoff, and maybe it's due to the small size or whatever, but his head crest actually echoes the detailing of his chest plate, but on the KO it's just kind of soft, and you can barely even make out the lines. On the original, it's a nice gold chrome and very crisply detailed. Anyway, overall, as a toy, as a $6 version of a expensive and rare toy, it was actually pretty accomplished, and overall kind of pulls it off. Cheesy stickers, but that aside, really not too bad. Just to cover his accessories, so he has this Vulcan cannon, which you can put into his hand. He has this laser rifle, which we can put in the other hand. And then we saw before his trailer piece, which also serves as a shield once you pop it on this arm. And then this little laser that was on the shield, you can put on the other arm post, and there we go, armed to the teeth. So that's our look at the knockoff version of the Brave Advenger. Highly recommended for $6 if you're into these kind of toys. I mean, it's a great way to at least experience the mold somewhat, even in a lesser form. It's very cool. So anyway, thanks for watching. Take care until next time.